Alright, so here is my new little toy I just got. It's a 7 horsepower Power Horse brand stump grinder. Got from Northern Tool. They normally run about $1,000. This one was $6.99 on a sale they have. Plus I had some other little 30% off deal or whatever. So, but after taxing and shipping and everything, I ended up paying $700 for the thing. I didn't video me unboxing it, but when I unboxed it, it had this little section here. This was all just one piece. Then you had this little piece here. Then you had that up there, and then your tires were off. And the blade was already assembled on it, but I had to put these tires on, and this tire here is just a normal tire. It goes on a little tapered shaft that you screw the nut onto. On this side over here, has got a got this little deal on the hub here. So this is a little locking device. You can go down and lock it, and that engages that, and it slides into a thing, and now it won't turn or won't move. And then you can undo this back, and then you can roll it. So when you're grinding, it's got a way to lock it down. But I just had to come in and come with those nuts and bolts. I had to bolt this through. This had a little piece right here that this little end right here is adjustable. I had to play with it to see where I want all my settings at on that. But you can see the little teeth, and all you do here is you just undo this, and then you can see it comes loose, and then you can adjust this wherever you want to. But I have to find where I like that at. So excited to try it. So the other day when I got it out of the box and the thing is rather heavy. I was by myself, and instead of hooking my little excavator up and lifting it out and all that stuff, I did the not so smart thing and just tried to manhandle it. And in the middle of that manhandle it, coming out of the box, I broke this gas cap off right here. Yeah, that's the little piece right there that goes in here and spins or whatever. But that's what it kind of looked like before. So immediately after I broke it off, and I actually tried to super glue it, and that was a fail, which that was just a shot in the dark right there. But so I got on Amazon, and well, first off I measured this little device right here, and then I got on Amazon. I looked on a few different places, but ended up buying a replacement gas cap. This one is slightly different. These are a lot wider, but I just measured this width here, and then found one online with that same width and the same the diameter, and said, oh, that'll work. But anyway, it does work. It's not a good tight snug fit, but it's on there, and that's what I got now. I guess this will just be trash or something. So now that I got my replacement gas cap, and it'll work. It's not as snug as what should have been from the factory, but this is something I'm only going to use a handful of times. Matter of fact, once I grind my stumps down, unless I do some extra side work or cut another tree down or something, I don't really see me using this a whole lot. So, but what I would pay for this for $700, and if I had to pay somebody to come out and grind a stump, it'd pay for, a couple stumps, it'd pay for itself. I may end up doing some stumps for some family members and stuff as well. So it'll pay for itself, for what I paid for it, $700. And most of these stump grinders they're well over $1,000 for, you know, similar like devices. But I don't know how well this is gonna work. I've yet to even put gas in it and crank it, and I haven't even checked to see if there's oil in it. Hopefully there's oil in it. If not, then we'll do that. But I'm heading into work right now, so whenever I get time to do a little more update on it, run it, test it out or whatever, I'll let y'all guys know. So until then. Alright, so this is a couple days later, and went to check the oil in it, and as I was undoing this, no oil. So tells you right there they drained the oil out, probably for shipping purposes or whatever. But I don't know if you can tell or not, but that is definitely some oil on that stick. So I'm assuming they had oil in it to test run it or whatever, and then drained it back out. But I'm gonna pull this little tag off here, and there's nowhere in the direction that says what type of oil or anything like that. But in my experience, most little 4-stroke engines like this, in my area, I use just regular small engine 4-stroke 10W30, because it's kind of a base oil. So we're gonna load it up with some 10W30. I'm assuming it's another thing, don't say either, but most of these you just fill up till it gets level right there, and or either all the way on the dipstick. But we'll go from there. We'll load it up, throw some gas in it, and we'll try it. Alright, so this is the next day. Stopped, thought I had some oil to put in there, but I didn't have enough, so I ended up going buying a jug of that. It's regular 10W30 4-cycle oil. That's usually what most of these small engines take. That's what I use in all my little small engines around here. Never had any issues with that. So we're gonna add this oil to her. Get my little funnel up right here, and we're just gonna fill her up. Go till she runs out the top. And really what you'd want to do is open that other side up to kind of got a little where it can ventilate a little bit. But we're just going to do a little trial and error, dripping a little bit of oil. That's alright though. Won't be the first time. Let's see how much. 48 ounces. Probably take about half of this, I would imagine. Oh. Let's see if I can get something on this dipstick. According to that, that's all she needs. Alright, so that's dried off. I'll screw her back in there. And she is full according to that stick. And I can see the oil level sitting right there. Oh, I may add just a drop or two to it real quick. And literally just a drop. Yep, now she's running out the side right there. So that's usually about how you do it. Oh, one key thing on this. Most small engines are set up that way. Or, I say that, the ones I've dealt with are set up that way, that I've noticed. with this engine sitting level, you can see right here I got a level. So I leveled this machine out, got it shimmed up right there. This engine sitting level, I've checked it. Usually when it's sitting level, that oil goes right to the lip. Right there, I don't know if you can see that or not, but that oil level's right there at that bottom lip. So if you add any more, it's just gonna run out the side. So, but if it's not sitting level, then you could add too much or not enough. So, I don't want to cross thread that. Just make sure it's snug, but not too snug. So, there we go. That statement there is no longer true because we have oil. So next thing to do is throw a little gas in it and we'll fire her up. Alright, so one more thing I forgot to do before I gas it up and run it. It comes with this little rubber piece right here. All it is, that's just a guard that bolts into those little holes down there. And that's just basically a guard to keep it from shooting little sticks back at you. So I'm gonna bolt that up real quick and then we'll get her going. Alright, so I just filled this up with gas, and that's that gas cap I got off of Amazon, and put it on, and you can see did that little number right there. So that did not work out. Luckily I went and robbed this one off an old tiller I had, and it seems to work. But now I gotta find a replacement. Well, really I just need to get a replacement for this one and put this one back on my tiller. But so yeah, these were junk. So that's that. But now that I got some gas in here, got her oiled up, I'm gonna wheel it over here to this stump, and we're gonna test it out. I've yet to fire this thing up, so y'all get to see the first initial start up. All right, so you can tell this is a rather large stump right here. Really need to cut more off the bottom, but I'm just going to see how it does with it like that. You can see it's already sprouting little sprigs back up. That's part of the tree where it was cut down before. But I may try it out on these little roots right here and then see how it does on that stump. See if we can just grind that stump away without cutting it. But who knows? I don't have a whole lot of faith in that, but we'll see. Yes, that's got to stay down. I didn't do too bad. Yeah. Considering I'm like trying to grind a 4 foot tall stump. And you can see what it did right there on those. Obviously, this is loose, so whenever it would catch just right, it would move. But that's what it did right there. I imagine if this was just a fat level stump, that would have made quick work of that. So that was just a little tester. May try to do some of these little limbs right here, or little roots right here. Them down. I really want to go over here because there's one that's
Now, these ain't that big of a deal, but there's one over there that's a nuisance. So I'm gonna go set up on that one, and we'll knock that one out. All right, you can see this one right here. That root that runs across there is with my little flower bit, little bed up, right there. Root runs across through here. Don't look like it's very much, but it's right here by my patio, my deck. I run my trash can across here a lot, so it's just kind of in the way. Can't really run the lawnmower over here. You can see where I get off to the time or two with the lawnmower trying to cut across here. So we're gonna get set up on this one and try to knock it down below the ground. Little backfire. All right, a little over about 5 minutes or so to knock that down. I was gonna go up in there a little more, but decided not to, just because I may come back later and go all the way up to the tree. But for now, it'll work. But I'll smooth all this back out. There you have it. Didn't take 5 minutes or more, maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes. Knocked that little root out. And I may come in here and dress that back up where my little garden bed, landscape timber will sit flat. I can redo all that. Not too bad. I'm gonna go over there and work on the big stump now. All right, so that's pretty good right there. I mean, obviously, if that was cut off, I may try to get my chainsaw out here and go ahead and knock that out and make quick work of this. But just curious to see how it would do, on a big, large stump like that. Obviously, the closer to the ground, you can see that would have a couple minutes, if that, would have been done with that. So, go get my chainsaw, cut that, and work on these roots over here. Ain't gonna make much progress with that. Chain is dull as all get out, so maybe gotta sharpen that chain or get another one.
Just might make this work out. I'm whittling her on down. I mean, obviously, keep repeating myself, but a chainsaw cutting it off would be a whole lot faster. I mean, this been done. We done had this put back in the shed, but ain't too bad. I feel like if I can get this fence in the way, it's gonna limit a little bit. But I bet if I could go all the way around it, I think I could just whittle it all the way down. But I'm gonna get as much as I can through here. May make a weak point on these ends over here, and I can just pull it off with my side by side or something. And I'll come back and knock these roots out. But all right, just a little update. I whittled a little bit more, but I was able to use my dull chainsaw and got all the way into there. I mean, you can see where it's burning, cutting through it. And I could just sharpen the blade and all that good stuff, but may do a little bit funner, a little bit better way. I mean, it's cutting through it. It's dull. If you had a good sharp chainsaw, you just slice right on through there. It's one way to do it. All right, we'll just break that down smooth. All right, well, there it is. No more stump. This mulch, it'll eventually decay and go away. Next summer it'll be nothing but grass here, dirt and grass. But Not too bad for 700 bucks. I think that was an ultimate test there. Doing a, what you think about it, Lily girl? Huh? Think it's worth 700? Anyway, yeah, for 700 bucks, and that was a good 4 foot tall stump. And you can see right here is I mean, I don't know if you can tell or not, but that's this part, but it tapered out pretty wide right there. So if you had a smaller tree, I mean, realistically, you could just walk up to it and whittle around it and knock her down. But ended up having to break the chainsaw out, and you can tell how dull my chainsaw blade was. But little hammer and wedge did the ultimate trick. There's part of my wedge still stuck in there. That and a sledgehammer, got that on out the way, and then soon it's a thing of the past. Had to get rid of this tree because you see how it does with these little sprigs and stuff. Even after you cut it, it just keeps growing and growing and growing, and it gets out of control. And those leaves would drop off in my pool, give me all kind of problems with my pool. So it had to go. But there you have it, a little 7 horsepower, $700 stump grinder. And I think that job right there was worth 700 bucks. So there you have it. One thing real quick, just what I'm gonna do is after I just used that, did all them stumps, you can see this got bearings in here, little grease fittings. I'll throw a little bit of grease in there, basically check everything, make sure my belt tension's still good, make sure my oil level's still good, make sure no bolts or nothing rattled loose. And it's good to do all that after a heavy use like that. So overall, I like it. See y'all guys on the next one.